Go and flow.
Divine
Hey,
listens, everybody. I'm Ray,
And I'm Sahat,
and
and
we're
we're
your
your
favorite
favorite
spiritual
spiritual
couple.
couple.
hey, and y'all already know what's going on. You got the greatest of the greats right now in one whole motion picture. You got Destine from the Steady Stepping Podcast. What's up? What's up? Welcome to the first episode of Let Go and Flow.
Let's get it.
Let's
Let's
run it.
grow. Hey,
Love it. I love it.
so this
So,
is a new segment, y'all. Oh, go ahead, Ray, because we just flowing. We just
yeah,
We
we
is
just
just
flowing.
flowing.
I was just about to say the same thing. It's a new segment. We're doing a new collaboration. Shout out the Steady Stepping Podcast. If y'all don't know, if y'all not tuned into it yet, go to the Steady Stepping Podcast on YouTube and you will find it right there for you.
And shout out
it's
to these
interesting.
cosmic collaborations that we all putting out into the ethers.
Mhm.
Definitely. So, Destin, you have an amazing topic for us to start to discuss. Why don't you let the audience know a little bit about what we're talking about today?
All right, today we're gonna flow into the conversation of how to know when you're awakening.
Yes.
I love
So,
it.
yeah, for those of you tapping in, let us know in the chat some awakening symptoms that you've experienced, and let's just get into it.
Let's
Most
dive
definitely. And what I'm
deep.
about to do, y'all, I'm about to jump on the YouTube and stuff to make sure we going live. So don't mind me. Y'all go ahead and let's take these people to another dimension.
Let's do it. You want to go
Let's
first?
run it.
Are you crying?
I mean, my eyes is watering because I'm so excited. Like my inner child was coming out, and I got all this gleefully
Wait,
energy.
you gotta make a wish.
Look, hey y'all, we live on the YouTube. That's one. See,
You didn't.
they on here being all amazing together and stuff. Look at the flow too.
Unity.
You did, how you know?
I'm in your
Oh,
couch.
okay. Yeah, we talking about that unity flow. So when you
Yes,
come into your awakening, you have will you will experience so much depending on what's going on in your energetic field, what you have experienced in this life. So there be a range from headaches, and they will range from mild to heavy, almost feel like a migraine.
Mhm.
You also experience ringing in your ears. And what's happening in those situations is that our bodies are literally crystalline structures. When you look at the cells, when you look at the blood, it's liquid crystals. When you look at what water is, it's liquid crystal. And knowing this, our body is majority water, like 80% water. So that is just liquid crystals, and crystals store information. So because of the energy that we're in, and by energy, I mean that the planet is going through this photon belt. It's a high vibrational energy field that we're in, and it's affecting our DNA, it's affecting our bodies. So that energetic shift is it's a gradual shift to where our bodies are changing into a more crystalline structure. And that crystalline structure, when the body is shifting, it's doing it on a gradual on a gradual level, so that what you experience isn't extremely jarring.
Mhm. One thing I like to do, like when I get a headache, I literally just take this selenite and I'll just place it on the part of my head that feels tension because it will basically like eliminate that. But let's talk about like what's going
look,
on.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No cap. That thing looked like it was just glowing when it touched your head. Like from this side, it's like, oh, it's glowing. Yep, it's glowing when you turn your head like that. Yep. Yeah. That's fun.
So let's talk about some actual like symptoms that you can see, not necessarily in your internal body, but things that you experience in life. Like for example, for me, people start falling off. That is a symptom of awakening. When people you just like don't really resonate with your friends anymore, it's
Mhm.
like y'all out here drinking and cutting up and I don't want to hang out. You know what I mean? Like, and
Relate
you just
anymore.
start realizing, like, I don't really vibe with my family the way I used to anymore. Like, the people who you used to be really cool with, you just don't resonate with them. That is another symptom of awakening. Like, when you just you feel, and people be like looking at you like you switched up, and it's just like, y'all not bored of doing this? Y'all
And
don't.
it's so beautiful that you bring that up because the people are interacting with you. Their interactions with you is what is has shifted within you.
Mhm.
So those activities of getting drunk and doing all this, it was something that served you up to this point, and now that you are awakening, you become to cognize and bring awareness to the activities in your life. You're like, that's not serving me anymore. It's not that I don't like y'all anymore. It's just the activities that y'all
I don't want to
engage
hang
in.
out and talk shit about people anymore.
That energy, yeah, yeah.
Like, it's
Mm.
not fun for me anymore.
On my journey of really realizing I was awakening was my thought process of the things that used to be normal no longer seem to be normal. They seem to be almost irregular as to the sense of something isn't adding up anymore. Like what you told me before with your words and language no longer align with the way that I'm seeing things in another vision or in another dimension because words have so much life. Because I was speaking to a lady earlier this rising, and I came up with my plan of I get the opportunity to gain over 1,000 subscribers in the next 90 days. So my whole thing is I get to become a person who, no matter who you are, I at least let you know I have a podcast and I ask for your support. So when you're having this transition, you're gonna have a different sense of authority in your voice. You're gonna have a different sense of authority in your language. You're gonna have a shift of belief, a shift of belief within yourself that you know I am on the right track to become it is who I really desire to become, not who a collective of different we're gonna call them distractions.
Okay.
Collective of different distractions. Because we know what you turn into, you turn what you tune into, you turn into. I think that's what Neo said on one of their bracelets I have from the Circle of CEOs conference. That's what it was. What you tune into, you turn into. And what you tune into are some of those distractions,
Mhm.
some of those hypnotic rhythms.
Mhm. It's so
So
true because, and I'm not going to name no names, but there's somebody in my family who, you supposed to be close with, and we were close for a while, and they were older than me, so I was always just looking up to them, and just really wanted to, like, feel included into their circle and their friends and what they had going on. We would get together and smoke and drink and do this and do that. Well, it became like kind of a nag fest every time we would hang out. Like, we would talk about this person or how this person ain't on their stuff and how this person is on pills and they done cheated on their ex and now they doing it. You know what I'm saying? It was just always talking about people. And, for a while, I would participate in order to just feel like I was part of the conversation.
mhm.
But the more I grew into my own spirituality and I went through my own personal awakening, it just didn't start to resonate with me anymore. So I felt like, what do we really have to talk about? Like, I don't really want to drink with y'all. I'll just hang out, I'll hit the blunt, but that's it. I ain't really
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, and so it evolved. And this was part of my old identity because I went through an awakening, and can we have full disclosure? Can we be like
Oh,
one?
let's go. I mean, that's what this is a safe space to do.
Okay, bet. So what happened was I was born to the name Tynika. That's my birth given name. And it's a combination of my mom and my dad's name. And so they put it together and then created me. And so my whole life everybody's always called me Tiny. Like my whole life. And
Mm.
so prior to my identity shift, I was tiny. I was the little sister. I was the daughter. I never had my own identity. I was just a product of everyone else's expectations of what I thought they wanted me to be. Right.
Ooh,
So in that situation, I ended up just kind of like distancing myself, and me and this particular person got into a huge fight. I ain't never been in no physical fight in my entire life. We
yeah.
got into a fight, like
A fist
fisticuffs,
fight.
you know what I mean?
You said
And
fisticuffs. That's a new one, ain't it?
so we was scrapping or whatever, and long story short, I separated myself from this individual, and I ended up just stepping into my true identity, and I didn't feel like I resonated with my name anymore. Like it just didn't sit right with me anymore.
Come
Ooh,
through.
you got it. You got
Let's grow. Let's
it.
grow. Let's grow. I'm with it now.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't resonate with me anymore. And so I was just like, I'm over here calling myself tiny, and I talked about etymology. I literally just posted a video this rising talking about words or spells,
Mm.
and my whole life everyone called me tiny, and I'm like, that's my identity. Am I playing small? And I had to sit with that, and I was like, I don't like that. So then Raella, Raella, came to me in a dream. I heard it and I saw it spelled out. It came to me in a dream, and I was like, first of all, yes. Second of all, who is that? It felt right. Like it felt. And so I just sat there for a second, and then I broke it down. Ra, the sun god, right? Ella, Ella, is she or her in Spanish. And so I was just like, sun goddess, and then I just start playing with it and playing with it. And it felt more right. It felt like I could really live up to the potential of who I wanted to be, instead of attaching all of the pain, all of the trauma, all of the like limiting beliefs to this old identity. And I could really step into my true power. And so I did that, right? And me and that person that got into it, we didn't talk for over a year, right? We
Mhm.
finally kind of mended things up somewhat um, over Thanksgiving last year. And so this person was like, like, I'm trying not to disclose the gender.
Oh man.
they they text me and was like, so I heard you changed your name. And I was like, yeah,
Oh, you
I
did a full legal name change as well?
not legal, just it's spiritual,
Okay.
what I mean, you know.
Well, okay. I was finna say, oh yeah, you went over to the paperwork too with it, and you ain't playing
No,
with no games.
it take too much to get a new passport, so we gonna wait on that.
Oh, that
um,
makes sense though.
but yeah, so I heard you changed your name, because I changed it on Facebook, I changed it on Instagram. You know what I mean? I changed my email address, all of that.
Mhm.
And so on paper, I look like Raella or Ray, you
Yeah.
know. So they was like, I heard you change your name. And I was like, yeah, I am releasing all of the things that were holding me back and stepping into the identity of where I'd like to go.
Oh,
And
that's
literally like left me on red. And
oh, you
like,
sent in the text.
huh? It was
You
in a
sent in the
text, yeah.
text.
It was,
Oh wow.
but then like last week, and I told you, like last week was a rough week for me, right? Emotionally.
Yeah.
So my intuition told me not to answer the call. This person had called me last week, and my intuition was like, "Don't answer that call." And I was like, "All right, bet." So I didn't answer the call. And a couple hours later, we had got a group text message of all the family, cousins, siblings, step parents, my mama. Like this, is my dad's side of the family. My mama in the text, uncles,
Yeah.
like everybody in the text. Right? It's like 15 people in this text group.
Mhm.
And this person just laid it all out about why they didn't like my stepmother and all this stuff was going on because my father had transitioned.
Peace.
So they thank you. But yeah, so my father transitioned and this person was just like, this is why I didn't like you this whole time. And then alluded to me. It was like the only information you ever got from me was either from my father, him, or from a misguided, what, I can't even remember because I only read the text one time, but it was like a misguided young girl who only wanted the approval of her father and still didn't, like, went in on me. And I'm like, hold on, keep my name out your mouth. I don't got nothing to do with this. But it's just interesting because there's a reason why when you go through these awakenings and you separate from people, it's because sometimes those people would have held you back along your journey. They're not quite at a level of consciousness yet to be able to relate to where you're going. You feel what I'm saying? So I wanted to share that story because, it's okay to shift into somebody. It's okay to be somebody you've never been before. It's okay. It's okay.
Most definitely, and
Absolutely.
the valuable thing about it, when you're having the overstanding conscious level of knowledge that you are walking into it, then you begin to truly grab your pen, take control, and write your narrative on that future version of yourself. So it's like you writing a manuscript for that vehicle that is now about to be in front of the whole universe and everybody in the existence of it to truly take part of. Because like a lot of times, sometimes people may say, or you may also think, "Ooh, am I being a little too cocky?" And it's like, no, you're not being cocky, but sometimes you showing up as the absolute best version that you feel yourself is may seem cocky to some.
Hmm.
And there's nothing really wrong with that. You just have to learn how to internalize it and keep growing
Mm-hmm.
because this is just something you're learning, and I feel like you're being something that you've always wanted to be. Now you just truly have the confidence level to match it.
Absolutely. And you bring up a really good point that what you are experiencing on your journey is your journey. It's not somebody else's journey. We all have different experiences. We all have different perspectives. So you'll get to this point in your awakening where you're looking for the answers. And a lot of us, and I can attest for this, a lot of us will look outwardly for what it is that we want to attain instead of going within. But once you actually go within and you see that divine within you, that is that reflection of the divine, of God, of source, whatever you want to call it, you start to cognize that everything that you've ever seek, everything that you ever want, everything that you ever desire to be is within you. And you, once you tap into that gnosis, that knowing, through that God within you, it just opens up the infinite possibilities, and it really helps you to flow and navigate in your power.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So we got a
So
couple people that are watching right now. I would love for you guys to drop in the comments.
how do you see them? I can't even see them.
I think it's because I'm hosting.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, drop in the comments. What are some things that you're going through that feel like a shift in your life or that feel like, okay, am I awakening? Or, you know, can you resonate? Does this resonate with you? Like, do you feel like you can't hang out with your family or your friends that you like you used to? Drop your opinions and your thoughts, questions in the chat, and let's get into it. Go ahead, Dustin. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm typing in the chat too to see if it'll pop up.
You got
Hey, we just over here playing with this stuff, y'all. We flowing, just seeing what it really does.
Oh,
Um,
that's the wrong chat. That's the chat to us.
oh, You know what? That's what.
It's all right. It's technology. We figuring it out.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you, we smarter than the technology. I tell myself that all the time when I figure everything out.
Well, all the technology in the world is based on things that we are capable of doing within ourselves. You think about the communications that we have talking on the phone wirelessly.
Mhm.
Telepathy is that wireless communication that you can, it doesn't even matter what distance you're at. When you are tuned into somebody, and we've all experienced this on some level where, oh, I was just thinking about you and then you called. Or,
Yeah,
man, I just saw that and look, it just happened to me. Or, I was going to this place, didn't know somebody else was going to this place that I knew. We connected here and it was just like, oh man, what a coincidence. There are no coincidences.
Yo, I have a crazy story about that. One time I was in a car with three of my friends, and or it was three of us total, two of my other friends. And we were in the car, and I don't remember what we were doing, but we had the volume or the radio completely turned off, like it was off. And we were sitting across the street from somebody's house. This was in Las Vegas. And you ever like play role play when somebody comes home? Well, like dude drove up to the driveway and we're like, "Oh, honey, I'm home." And then she came out and like they were like talking to each other, we were just keying and cutting up. And
yeah.
we just started laughing like uncontrollably, like just laughing. And after we all stopped laughing, it kind of like settled down and ain't nobody say nothing for a couple seconds. And then just out of nowhere, I'm just like, from the window to
Oh,
the
not to the
wall,
wall.
to the wall,
Hey,
to the
she went
sweat drop down
way.
my. And then they start, chiming in, right? And then
Yeah,
she goes, all these, you know what I'm saying? And we just, oh, ski, ski, you know what I'm saying? And we all, and
getting
we
it
all just,
rolling back.
and we start laughing, we laughing. And then there was another like kind of awkward silence just for a second. And
Yeah,
then the person who is driving, Raina, she turns on the radio. Guess what song is on the radio?
not all ski ski.
Come on now. You
Not
can't
you
make
just.
this up.
I was gonna
Like,
say, not you just prime them to play the song.
and what was crazy was it was the radio. It wasn't like her Bluetooth or like, and it was turned off. Like it wasn't, the volume was down, like it was turned off. And then
Yeah,
she pressed the button to turn it back on. And then it wasn't the same part of the song,
but it was
but
the song.
it was that same song. I was like, oh
And
wow. And
what
we
was,
was looking at each other like, you witnessed this. Like you was
I was gonna
here.
say, what was their experience like being in the car and knowing all that just transpired? Like,
We all were just like in awe, like what just happened. And it was like, okay, well, we got two other witnesses that we did not make this up. Like you can't
yeah.
make this up. So
And that power of even just the mind, man. Like, who would have thought that'd have been the exact same song that popped in your mind before it was on the radio? Like, that's how you know. Like, even I was listening to I was listening to a frequency. Hey, what's up, Shaky?
hey,
Hey,
I
Shaky.
Shaky. Hey, TT
I was
Shaky.
talking
Low
to the
key,
man.
real quick, we was tapped into your live on Instagram real quick before we went live on here, and we got some things to talk about.
Oh yeah, I love what you was talking about. You was talking spicy there.
Hey, I was gonna say,
Okay.
can we bring her up too? How does that work? We just bring people up in the chat too. You
Um,
know
We're gonna
what
figure that out. Let's play around with that because this is a new
I'm
platform for us too. So
I mean, we can't really bring people up in the chat because we can't type in the chat unless we actually go on YouTube. But what we can do
saying?
is we can DM her the link and she could hop on if she want to. Go ahead
Oh,
and drop a thumbs up if you want to hop on, Shaky.
oh, that'll be fire. So then people just jump. That'll be lit.
Yeah,
I love
throw
that.
give us a thumbs up if you want to hop on.
She want to come
But
on.
but
Yeah,
most
you're about to say.
definitely, like, the beautiful part about it is, like, I used to see, like, oh, like we were talking about that flower, right? And sometimes, in all honesty, like, we just get to really just go deeper within what we already understand and challenge it. Like, damn, I can go deeper in that same content subject of thought. Like, How deep do you really want to go when you want to become your best self?
That part.
Like how are you willing to go back 10, 15 years, 20 years for anybody or whatever age? How far are you willing to go back to think about the things that have been taught?
Are you
Because I feel
willing to?
like
Oh, go ahead.
that won't be until you even begin to think about the topic of going back and challenging your thought up to you, even like, wow, something ain't adding up anymore. I feel like until you have that realization, it's like you kind of feeling like, damn, is that gonna be am I like really tripping, or is this just like a dream?
This is
So
a dream.
this
This
is
is the dream. It's so funny that you say that because there was a movie that came out in the early 90s called The Truman Show that had Jim Carrey, and he didn't know that his life was a movie. His life was a TV show. Like he was in this intricate like uh set. Like his whole life was based on a TV show, and he didn't even realize that he was a TV show.
oh
And
him actual to being.
yeah, like he was like he got up, like he reached up to the sky and actually found like, and it looked like the sky. He climbed this ladder and he opened a door and it went into the
The
outside of the
set.
studio.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Yo, what is this like?" And it's really like that. That the way that we navigate
Like
in the.
every day there were actors. They would come on like, okay, he's coming, he's coming.
Mhm.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Truman. Like
Right, exactly. So we have, and it really talks about how we are in this waking state.
Mhm.
It's more of a dream how we navigate because it's unconscious. We don't bring awareness to the things on a conscious level. On an unconscious level, we do experience these synchronicities where it's like, oh wow.
Synchronicity, what do you mean by that?
So you'll
Ooh.
have, let's get into it. So a synchronicity is when you have an experience, whether you're thinking about something and then you see what you're actually thinking about. For example, divine numbers, angelic numbers,
Shut up, shut up, shut up,
111
shut up, shut up, shut up. 444. I don't know if y'all can see that.
occur.
It's 444 right now in our
Oh
time.
man.
So like that, you bring awareness to, oh, 444, 111,
So
222, and then you start seeing these numbers. Or um, you thinking about, on a deeper level, you're thinking about something specific and then it happens right at that time. Oh, 111. Oh wow, like
something that doesn't necessarily seem correlated, but they align around the same time or in succinction of each other. Did I say that word right?
that
That
sounds
sounds about
look, all these words are made
Are
up.
made up, right? So they happen in succinction of each other. They don't necessarily seem correlated. They're like two separate occasions. Like for example, um, here's a story. I have a similar experience. I'll talk about my experience. I won't talk about Marilyn Harper. But I heard a channeling a few years ago that was like talking about this guy had created this elaborate feather. He was practicing like the law of attraction or whatever, and he created this elaborate feather in his mind, and then he drew it out with like all different types of colors and polka dots and crazy stuff on there. And he ended up walking, and I don't know what the time period that had passed, but he ended up walking down a busy street, like in the city. And this big feather, about that big, floats down and falls right in front of him. And it was like some crazy tropical bird that he didn't even knew exist. He created it from his own consciousness. And then it fell right in front of him. And that was a sign to him that, like, oh my gosh, like, this stuff is real. So in that moment, after I heard that story, I was like, okay, so how can I apply this in my life? And I was like, basically, whenever I saw a feather and I started to notice that I would see a big feather on the ground that was like crossing my path, afterwards, something really amazing would align for me. Like
Mm.
whether it be a move, or I was about to run into an opportunity, or I was about to meet somebody that was about to introduce me to someone else. And it was just like, and it happened enough times that I was like, oh my gosh, every time I see a feather, I know that it means I'm on the right path, or this is the right place to move. Like I would go to a house showing and then see a feather right in front of the door. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm moving here, and it was
Mm.
just like that is a synchronicity.
So I'll give another example of a deep synchronicity I experienced for myself. Um, my grandfather was in the hospital several years ago, and my mom reached out to me and was talking about, he had an aneurysm in his
I wish
heart,
you
wasn't going to make it. TT Shaky with us.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey,
Okay.
peace and blessings.
Hey,
Hey,
lovely.
y'all. Okay, let me not interrupt the conversation. I'm just listening. I'm just here as an observer.
Well, come on through after this story. So my mom calls me and she tells me that my grandfather's in the hospital. He just had an aneurysm in his heart. He's not gonna make it. And I'm emotional and feeling all this energy. And I'm like, I have to get off the phone and send my grandfather some healing. So as soon as I hung up with my mom, I just went straight into Reiki mode and was sending my grandfather healing energy. And I asked his spirit, do you want me to send the energy to fully heal your body, or are you ready to move on from this life? And he said, I'm ready to move on. And in that moment, I accepted that, and I sent the energy that he needed to heal his heart chakra for the next lifetime. And then, come to find out, he transitioned at 11:11. Now, 11:11 for me has been profound throughout my years because it signifies, for one, the double gateway. So this double gateway is a portal to other realms that enlighten us, that connect everything together. So it was a way for my grandfather to say, hey, you are on the right path. And I received that message, and it gave me it just allowed me to release that perspective of how we view death as something final, or uh, a time to mourn instead of a time to celebrate.
And isn't 11 your life path number?
It is my life path number. So it
Yeah.
was so multi-layered in
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, synchronicities are a way that the universe communicates with you in different, often random circumstances.
Hmm.
And so that means each and every one of us have had some type of synchronistic moment we may have not really understood that's what was going on.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what it is. And so we talked about yesterday on your podcast the RAS, the reticular activating system in your brain. It's a
Yeah.
part of the brain that determines what you notice. So when you start to bring awareness to these things like synchronicities, then you start to expect and attract more of them.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What are some synchronicities that you've experienced, Auntie Shaky?
Um, okay, so explain to me again what exactly that is.
So a synchronicity is when you have these moments that seem completely unrelated, and they connect to your awareness that there's something bigger at play, that the universe is talking to you, spirit is talking to you.
You thinking of somebody and then they call you, or like you just see like repetition of numbers, like 444, like it was just 444 in our time zone, while we were talking about synchronicities, like that's the synchronicity.
Or you say, hey, I'm gonna go out here and collab with somebody in the morning meetup, and then right after that somebody actually reaches out to you that you had no idea was like, hey, let's collaborate. And I was like, I was just thinking about that.
Hmm. So I guess I wouldn't have originally called it that what you guys called it. I always like, oh, I manifested this. Oh my gosh. But So, I think one of the dopest ones that happened recently was I was walking Kennesaw Mountain. It's a mountain here in Georgia, and I was talking to someone else that's in the morning meetup. We were walking together, and I was saying to her, I said, "Listen, I attract high net worth individuals. I'm like, that's my avatar. That's who I attract, whatever, right? Because anyway, I was telling her she needs to be a gold digger versus like a sand digger. Anyway, there's a whole thing behind that. And so she was like, well, how do you do that? Well, you attract them. I say I attract high net worth individuals, and I only do business with high net worth individuals, and they seem to come, right? I'm telling you, not but 10 minutes later, we're walking to the car. Okay, we're walking to the car, and I said, "That's Wall Street Trapper. That's Wall Street Trapper." She was like, "No, it's not. No, it's not." Now, mind you, he's in a car. I don't know what his car looks like. I have no idea what this car looks like. But all I saw was like this beard behind this tinted windows. And I said, "That is Wall Street Trapper." I said, "Let's hang back for a minute to see if this is really him, right?" Because I'm in the finance space. So Wall Street Trapper is like, that's like my bae. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my Beyonce. And
Yeah.
so, well, no, nobody's my Beyonce.
We get it. We get it.
Okay.
No, we
All right.
got you.
Okay. So anyway, he gets out the car and she's, "Oh my God, it's him, it's him, it's him," right? And so I say, "Hey, Trap." He was like, "What up, girl?" And I'm like, "What up, girl?" Like he knew me, like he gave me this big old hug and everything like that. And we got the pictures to prove it. But that speaks to the fact that I said I attract high net worth individuals. A high net worth individual showed up on the scene. And I have so many different stories as it relates to that, because that is my overwhelming confession. Maybe I need to have more overwhelming confessions, but my overwhelming confession is the fact that I attract high net worth individuals.
That was
part.
a dope
I love that.
story. Shout out Wall Street
That's
Trapper.
a shaky story right there.
Man.
I love that.
I love it. I love it.
And so we all manifest through these synchronicities, and it'll appear in our life in multiple ways. So when you look at somebody who is a hypochondriac, they're like, "Oh, I can't do that because of this," or "I'm just always sick," or "I'm always experiencing this." They
I
are
catch
manifesting
every sickness that's out there.
that.
If you have a cold, you can't be near me. I'm gonna get sick. Like
Mhm.
that's an affirmation.
And you are speaking that into your life. That is your purchase order. That's what you're saying. Hey, universe, bring me more of that energy, because that's where my focus is on. Just like Shaky was like, "Hey, I only attract high premium clients."
That's it. That's all.
And her visual and her reality, Wall Street Trapper connected with her because she's on that frequency.
Sahat, let me ask you. So you mentioned Reiki, and I love the fact that you asked permission before you just started doing, performing Reiki on your grandfather, right?
Yes.
Yes. I, I don't know if you guys have talked in length about Reiki, but when I tell you Reiki, I don't want to say it saved my life, but it certainly made my life a whole lot more worth living. Okay.
Peace and blessings to that.
Yeah.
Reiki is a very, very powerful thing. Very powerful thing. Dustin, have you had a Reiki session before?
Mm-mm.
You can get one from us when we come down to Atlanta in April.
Absolutely.
What's the Reiki session?
We can do a group session, matter of fact. So Reiki is energy healing. This energy is all around us, is flowing through us. We're just channels. We are healers. We are all healers. But in the sense of Reiki, I'm not the one that is healing you. I'm just showing you the way to open up yourself to the universe so that you can allow your own natural healing process to happen.
We're
I'm holding that sacred space for you so that you can get that energy for yourself, so
we're
you can attune to that.
we're conduits.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
I know you understand that because you work with houses and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
To
yeah,
get the source from the main source to the actual place that is going to facilitate an actual person.
exactly. So it channels, for lack of a better term, through us to you.
Mhm.
And
And
this
so we're just trained how to direct that energy. I'm throwing crystals and stuff.
so this healing energy affects you on a mental, physical, emotional, spiritual level. So wherever the healing is needed in your life, that's where it goes.
Mhm.
So I'll give you an example. The one of the first sessions that I ever gave to someone, this woman came to me and told me that she had an emotional attachment to her ex-husband. They had been trying to have children for several years. She finally got pregnant. She had a miscarriage. It broke up the relationship. It was just a hard emotional time for them, for both of them. So they ended up splitting. So she came to me to help her to remove that attachment. I had no idea. Now, this was on a Monday. I had no idea of her other, at the time, of her other health issues.
Mhm.
So Tuesday comes, I do the session on Monday. Tuesday comes, she calls me frantically, hey, I just had my cycle. It just came on like super early and it's like freaking me out. And I'm like, hey, it's okay. Your body's just detoxing. Just allow that process to flow.
Mhm.
So she calls me Thursday and she says, oh my God, like I have to tell you, like this may be like TMI, but I just came from the hospital for an outpatient surgery to have some fibroid cysts removed. I had 15 fibroid cysts that popped up on this X-ray that she told me. And when they went uh, to do the procedure, they gave her another X-ray. All of her cysts were gone. So then she started to talk about what had actually, like, because I'm a natural health consultant. You can't freak me out when it comes to health. So she started to go into detail about what passed through her body during her cycle, and it was profound. I was like, that those were the cysts passing through your body. That's why it looked weird.
And that's also probably what contributed to the miscarriage.
Absolutely. So now she's able to have children safely.
Mm.
Oh,
Shaky, I
that-
want to hear your story. What happened?
Yeah, interesting enough, it wasn't similar to that, but had I probably gotten Reiki prior to, then anyway, maybe I wouldn't be void of a body part. But I ended up getting a hysterectomy because of the fact that I had fibroids and stuff like that. So my husband and we've been married now for 19 years. And we have our son is 26, but at some point, people kept saying, oh, you guys need to have a child. You need to have a child together, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We tried. And I ended up having 6 miscarriages. And it was just a lot. It was just really taxing on
Yeah.
my body to, continue to every single time. It was almost you get to the point where you don't even want to have sex because you might get pregnant and then lose it, that type of thing. So anyway, um, I ended up getting a hysterectomy in my 30s. And I tell people all the time it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made because now I can wear white pants again. Um, but um, but when you get a hysterectomy, typically you dry up. I'm not gonna be no more detailed than that. We grown, y'all know what I'm saying.
right.
All right. So it made sex kind of uncomfortable, or I needed to, buy stock in KY jelly. Okay. So so anyway, I ended up going to a Reiki session, didn't know what Reiki was, but a woman who I bought her house and she was a Reiki master. And she said, hey, let me just do Reiki on you. Had no idea what it was. She called it a spiritual massage. That's what she said. Oh,
Mm.
it's just
Wow.
a spiritual massage. Okay. So I was like, I like massages. Okay, I'll come. I didn't know what to expect. I had no intention, you know. And so she she never touched me. She never touched me. I'm just in a deep room, you know. I'm aware of what she's doing, you know. She's doing some work and stuff like that. And so after it was over, she asked me, you know, how did I feel? And I was like, I feel nothing. You know, I didn't know what the expectation was, but I don't feel anything. And so, but that evening, when I tell y'all the floodgates were open, I was like, let me throw all this shit away. Excuse me. Like, I'm like, I don't need none of this. I don't need none of it. I'm producing on my own now. So yeah, that was my first Reiki session, and I became a believer after that point because literally the doctors, you know, they tell you you're not going to, you know, sex is going to be different and all of that, and baby.
Man,
Oh
that's
my
fun.
God, I love it. I love it.
You
So
know, don't be surprised if you keep getting Reiki that everything that is so-called missing grows back because you're in your DNA. Yeah, we're gonna go there because in your DNA you have
Sahat,
blueprints and
Sahat, you
templates.
went too far. I was with you. I was with
okay, wait. Let me bring it
So
down because you.
let me preface with this. I
you.
actually know
Okay.
a Reiki practitioner, Reiki master and she talks about this opening. The owner of Raseki Healing Temple, she actually went through that same ordeal where she had her ovaries removed, or no, she had them snipped, and she couldn't have children at the time. And then when she started to do Reiki and she started to change her diet, and she met a partner who wanted to have a child, they manifested that energy from the Reiki actually healed that disconnect in the body and was like, hey, we are naturally designed to heal ourselves. That's why when somebody experiences that phantom limb syndrome because they've had they're an amputee,
Amputation. Mhm.
when you look at it on an energetic level, because they do have the technology to see this, your whole arm will still be there. That whole leg will still be there, even if there's just an energetic imprint, because the body knows. But because our minds have been conditioned that no, you can't heal. Just like you're saying, the doctors are like, sex will never be the same. You know, you'll have to buy this, you'll have to buy that.
It's programming.
Let us either cut you open or prescribe a drug for you. That's all they do.
It's programming.
They serve a purpose. You know, they can give you insight. They can add some insight to what you already know, or they can give you insight to something going on in your body, but that doesn't mean that it's final, that you have to subscribe to this is it for me. Whatever the doctor told me is absolute. Like, no, that's not true.
So there's two things that go with that. Like, first of all, we are multidimensional beings, and our DNA is multidimensional. Your DNA holds the blueprint to optimal health, right? It also holds the information of every lifetime you've ever lived on this planet and beyond. And it also holds the information of your lineage, your blood lineage, you know? So all of this information is stored in such a microscopic piece of DNA, right? And it is all flowing within your body. So what happens is, like, so first of all, the DNA is multidimensional. Second of all, cells are created to regenerate. Cells are created to regenerate. So when you tell your unconscious mind is what runs all the functions of your body. So if the unconscious mind believes that it is possible for something to reproduce, for something to regenerate, then it will. And that is why things like spontaneous remission are possible. Like somebody who's got like stage 4 cancer and then a week later it's completely gone after all they did was drink smoothies for a week. You know, it wasn't the smoothies, it was the belief
Your
of
level
the
of belief.
unconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what happens is your mind and your body, and that's why I preach mind, body, and spirit, because the three of them put together, you are literally inhuman. And when I say inhuman, I mean you have superpowers. You are literally like a Marvel character. You can create whatever you want to do on this planet because your unconscious mind is like,
And
man,
that's
so
and
powerful.
like me, where I connect on the spiritual, the spiritual development side is that DNA with knowing that I've been to multiple dimensions. Like a lot of things that I do, I'm more of a do it in like a hands-on person. So how it may take somebody 3 months to learn a new skill, it may take me maybe a day or two. You get what I'm saying? Because it's almost like the programming was already there from something I already learned, but just this new little, we're gonna say adjustment here, an adjustment there, and bam, you got your new product. So that's where I feel like I am, where I connected to a source that was, of course, higher than me, but one that was already had my consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Because like a lot of times I can be like, damn, I really remember this. And I didn't have like a deja vu dream, but like actually feeling like I remember this relationship. I remember that source of energy and us connecting.
Wow,
Absolutely.
that's
Like
awesome.
so I've just been very, very really observant and just listening for clarity and understanding now for the different knowledge that's coming in, because it's like somebody can tell me that, like, damn, I remember that. Like, damn, ooh, I remember that one too. So it's crazy how that when you manifest results that you really want, they come through different vessels. That's
Mhm.
the thing, how you was talking about that synchronicity. They're gonna come through different ways, through different people. But you have to remember what was the question that you truly asked, and damn, that's the answer to it. It might
Mhm.
not have been how exactly you wanted it, but that's the answer that you wanted. And they'd be like, damn, that's in plain sight.
And most things are hidden in plain sight.
For
Yes.
sure.
So you'll experience these synchronicities, and they'll seem random at first, and then you'll begin to cognize, like Shaky's talking about. I create the things that I speak into existence. I manifest that. So when you start to cognize that you have that power within to make these things happen, the synchronicities become creative synchronicities, where let's look at it from the aspect of the spider, because in many cultures, when you tap into the energy of the spider in the dream state, the spider actually, on the etheric level, the web represents what you catch into your life, what you are manifesting, these potentialities. So Shaky saying that, hey, I only attract high premium people. She's creating a web of energy to attract that and catch that in her web, so that these opportunities are manifested through her consciousness, through her will, through her focus and intention. Because it's that focus plus that pure intention that brings it into the manifestation.
So true. And I also love you that you just said shaky and then Web because of Shaky Webster. Like, did you see that?
See
You
how
see how
spirit
you
be
did
coming
that? You
through?
see how you did
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
that?
That's good. That's good. That's good. So, you guys, tell me about the event that you have coming up.
Ooh.
Ooh. So we actually have a healing retreat, and it's just so synchronistic because we love both of your energies. So you guys' high vibrational energy, whether you see the full potential of it or not, we have this healing retreat, and we're handpicking 20 individuals who have that high vibrational energy, because we are wave casting into the consciousness field a new and vibrant life for all of us. So when one person is operating in a space of pure love, they affect 750,000 people on the planet. So
And-
when these 20 people come together, you are going to affect 15 million people on the planet. So it's something that's bigger than you, something that's bigger than I, something that's bigger than all of us. It's a collective effort that we're doing with this group.
Yeah, and so what it is it's 4 days of magic. We condensed about eight to 10 weeks worth of coaching into a 4-day period. So it's going to be a fully immersive event in order to help you connect mind, body, and spirit, and most importantly, how to integrate them in order to take you to your next level. So whether if it's next level in business, next level of your self-mastery journey, what have you. And also it's going to be an amazing networking opportunity because a lot of our audience are all entrepreneurs anyway.
Yeah.
So whether if they're spiritual entrepreneurs, meaning they work in the spiritual space, or they're entrepreneurs that are tapped in spiritually, but they're all entrepreneurs nonetheless. So it's going to be an amazing opportunity for networking too. We're telling people, bring your product, bring your service, bring your information, because we're also hosting a major mastermind at the event and allowing you to kind of like pitch your offer, pitch your situation. So it's going to be a really dynamic event to take you to the next level. And we are, on top of that, we are integrating that mind, body, and spirit by implementing a rising routine and a night routine. So that way, when you go home, it's in your physiology. You wake up like, I need to meditate. It's time to do my gratitude. Like, it's time for the affirmations. It's time to move my body and do some yoga or work out or whatever, what have you. And and basically create that momentum. And on top of it, we're including 8 weeks of high-level mastermind coaching with everyone to build synergy on the way to the event and then to keep the momentum going afterwards. So it's about to be a dynamic event.
Absolutely.
Sounds like it. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We love you guys. This has been
Absolutely.
such an amazing live, and just so like
Hey, the first episode of Let's Flow and Go has just been real flowetry.
This is the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were a part
What's
of it.
up? Hey.
I was
Thank
part
you came
of
through.
like popping you all's cherry.
Yeah.
I guess so then, huh?
Wow.
The proverbial.
Hey, what Brother Sahat say is just, I guess it's just the spiritual alignment.
Right.
Yeah.
That part.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love you all so much. You guys bring so much good energy to the community, and just so much fun. Just so much fun. And I think we connected like really early on. And yeah, I love this, and I wish nothing but the best for all of us. Shoot, I ain't gonna leave
For
myself
sure.
out.
And then
That
since
part.
now you don't pop that cherry, auntie, you got to be a part of this. You got to be a part of the commitment now because you came in on the first episode. So I mean, now you're a part of it. You're here with us all the way
And you
live.
did your homework.
And you did
Wait,
your
what?
You did your homework.
Our homework was to collab today with somebody.
Ooh.
I did the homework.
Okay.
Hey, look
Look
at the
how spirit be
momentum
coming
that
through.
we building
Yeah,
already.
go ahead and pan out. Go ahead and pan out. You see how spirit be coming through?
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I did the homework.
Because you just let go and flow.
That's the one. That's that. Hey, every let go and flow episode. That's how you open it up.
Got
You
you.
gotta get that part right there. Let go and flow.
All right, I'm done because I'm blown away. I'm blown away. with
Listen.
that.
Look, she's like, wait, I'm still on that shaky in the web and the okay.
It wasn't that deep. Calm down. Calm down.
Listen, Listen, I love you guys and everyone for watching. Thank you so much for tapping in. We will be back next Wednesday at the same time, same place. So wherever you're watching this right now, we will be back in a week.
And before we close out, hold up. Everybody drop your IG so they can know how to catch each and every one of us.
Okay,
It's
bet.
on-
Let's get it.
Change your name.
Yeah, so that's my IG right there. Auntie Shaky, that's you right there at the bottom.
Yep, that's me.
That's how you get with her. And then Ray and Sahat, that's your IG too?
No.
Oh, they
Well,
changed
you
it.
can actually look me up through that because that's not a common name, and,
Okay.
True.
and
But
you'll
I got
you'll
you.
you'll know it's me once you see
No,
it.
you know that cosmic connection, like, yeah, that's him.
I spelled that right.
Yeah, you
Okay.
got it.
Boom.
And that is.
Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Boom.
And that's R.
Hey, boom, there it go, drop. So that's how y'all tap in with each and every one of us. We can't wait to see y'all back next Wednesday, 5:00 Georgia time, 4:00 Chi-Town time. So you got to fix the time difference. Google it if you don't know it, because I'm not the best with them. I just know where I'm at. So make sure y'all tap back in with us next week. Let's grow.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Blessings to all of you and continue to vibrate in your magnificence.
Living your purpose.
For sure.